Alin never believed he could be someone's safe place. The world had taught him to build walls, high, thick, and unbreakable. But everything changed the day Jane stumbled into his life, clutching her books like a shield, eyes red from hidden tears she thought no one could see. Their first meeting wasn't magical. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't destined by the stars. It was simple, two broken souls bumping into each other, each pretending not to shatter. Alin was a filmmaker, a quiet one who preferred to breathe life into stories rather than speak his own. Jane was a translator, fluent in languages but unable to express a single word about what hurt inside her. They worked at the same media house, shared the same elevator, exchanged the same silent nods for months. And yet, they felt worlds apart. Until the day she didn't hide her tears fast enough. Alin saw her crying near the staircase, tucked into a corner like someone trying to disappear. He didn't ask questions. He didn't speak. He simply sat beside her, placing a small packet of tissues between them like a silent offering. She took one, wiped her tears, and whispered, "Thank you." For her, it was a release. For him, it was the beginning. Days passed, and they formed a language only they understood. Small gestures, soft smiles, sharing snacks without asking, staying late at the office together when neither wanted to go home. They didn't talk about the past. They didn't talk about hurt. They talked about movies, music, sunsets, and dreams they were afraid to chase. One evening, while editing a romantic scene, Jane playfully asked, "Do you believe in love, Alin?" He chuckled, eyes still fixed on the screen. "Love is overrated." And yet, she tilted her head, "You make films that make people cry." He paused. "Caught. Movies are easier," he said quietly. "Love in real life, that's complicated." Jane didn't ask more, but her heart whispered an answer she wasn't ready to speak out loud. Love is only complicated when you're afraid of losing it. He noticed the way she flinched at loud voices, the way her phone made her anxious, the way she apologized too quickly for the smallest mistakes. And she noticed his fear of touch, the sadness behind his smile, the nightmares he tried to hide. One night during a thunderstorm, the office lost power. The world outside roared, and Jane froze, eyes squeezing shut, arms wrapped tightly around herself. Alin found her trembling in the dark hallway. "You're safe," he said, gently placing his hand over hers. Her breathing slowed. For the first time, she didn't feel alone during the storm. From that moment, Alin made it his silent mission to be her calm. He learned how to hold her hand when her fear tried to pull her away. He learned the right jokes to make her laugh on the worst days. He learned that Jane loved stars, not because they were bright but because they kept shining even in darkness. And Jane learned his secrets too. She learned why he stopped celebrating his birthday. Why he avoided mirrors. Why he never believed anyone could stay. One late evening, while walking home together, Jane stopped under the streetlight and looked at him, really looked at him. "You don't have to be strong all the time, you know," she said. He blinked. "What are you talking about? You protect everyone else, but who protects you?" He swallowed hard. No one had ever asked him that before. No one had ever cared to. Her voice softened. "Let me be your safe zone too." Alin didn't reply, but he squeezed her hand, harder than usual, and she understood. He didn't have the words yet, but he was learning to trust her heart. Slowly, their closeness became undeniable. He sent her good morning texts before she woke up. She brought him coffee, exactly how he liked it. They sat side by side, editing love stories while quietly living one of their own. Yet, neither confessed. They were terrified, because love is the most beautiful risk, and also the most dangerous. One night, after a long shoot, they found themselves alone in the office again. Jane was sleepy, her head resting on her arms. Alin draped his jacket over her shoulders like a silent promise. "Why are you so kind to me?" she murmured, half asleep. His voice was low, honest. "Because you deserve kindness. Because you're brave even when you think you're weak. Because you make me feel things I thought I'd forgotten." Her eyes fluttered open. "What kind of things?" He took a deep breath. "The kind that scare me. The kind that make me want to stay." Jane sat up, her heart pounding loud enough to fill the room. "Then stay," she whispered. He stared at her, really seeing her, all the hurt she was healing from, all the love she was afraid to give. "I'm not good at this," he confessed. She smiled gently. "Just love me in your way." Those words broke the last wall around his heart. "Loved by me," he said quietly, almost like a vow. "That's what you are. And if you'll let me, I'll keep loving you in every way I know. Jane's eyes filled with tears, not from pain, but from finally being seen. She stepped closer. You're my safe zone, Alin. And you're mine, he breathed. The moment felt like a soft sunrise, warm, gentle, full of new beginnings. He touched her cheek carefully, as if she were something fragile yet precious. And she leaned into his touch like she finally found home. Their first kiss wasn't wild or rushed. It was slow, a kiss that said, I'm here. I choose you. I'm not leaving. In that moment, storms quieted. Shadows faded, hearts healed, because sometimes love isn't loud. Sometimes love is the whisper that stays. And in a world that once broke them, they found a place that never would, in each other. Alin and Jane, loved by him, safe with her. A love story written not in grand gestures, but in everyday courage. Two hearts learning that healing doesn't come from running away, but from finally having someone worth staying for.